Good morning. This is the day that the Lord hath made. We shall rejoice, we shall sing, and be glad in it. I'm Dr. Julia Royston at BK Royston Publishing, Royal Media and Publishing, and the Book Business Boss Consulting, helping you get your message to the masses, turn your words into wealth, and be a book business boss, as well as For the Kingdom Ministries, where this is all about building people so that we can both together, everybody, build the kingdom. And so, first off, comparison is not wise. So the full scripture, I'm going to read it out of the King James version. It is taken from 2 Corinthians 10 and 12. For we dare not make ourselves of the number or compare ourselves with some that commend themselves, make themselves bigger, whatever, however, whoever you are, whatever you do, go for it. But they measuring themselves by themselves and comparing themselves among themselves are not wise. That's the reason why we've often said, comparing ourselves to others and we're measuring ourselves by each other is just not wise. Now, I know some people like to know what other people are doing based on industry standards, getting advice, resources, etc. But when you specifically change your strategy, change your method based on trying to keep up with somebody else, then there becomes a problem. Not just for information purposes, not for if you're in business, if you're in ministry, if you're in a career and you're really striving to be all that you can be, and you need some help in that area, coaching, mentoring, that's not a problem. But when you literally, as the old folks say, you don't eat the meat or apply what you can do now and then determine the plan God has for you, then you have a problem on your hand. Especially if you're a faith-believing, God-believing, fearing person, then you make that person, this is the first, you make that person, that thing, that situation, your leader. I remember, when I go to events and if other people publish, they come up and they look at my table and they're like, oh my gosh, all these books, how do you do it? La, 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 la. And they get information. And I'm like, well, I'm an early riser. I don't stay up late. I've been doing this 18 years. So if you've only been in business 3 to 5, you can't expect to be on the same level or compare yourself to somebody who's been doing it a lot longer. And so that doesn't mean that you're not great at what you do, but the experience is still a great teacher. And so when you are comparing yourself to somebody else and God says something differently, you're now putting that person, that system, that strategy in the lead. I'm guilty. I'm the first one who's guilty of it. I thought I would be. And Brian fusses at me all the time. No, that's not what's for you. Whatever's for you is going to be for you. And so I have to be reminded of it. Believe you me, I'm not pointing fingers at anybody. I have to do it all the time. I have to recalibrate, sit myself down, and then between Brian fussing at me and the God fussing at me, I get the picture. I get the message because I don't want to get ahead of God doing something that is out of turn, out of season, out of order. So if he's in front of me and God is the leader and he's the head and he's the direction, and of course he sits high and looks low and he knows where all the next steps are. He knows everything. God has everything. God knows everything. He can do anything. Then he still has to be my leader. And as much as you may want to, look around and see what else is going on, you got to stay focused on what he's called you to do. And then the other thing is, and God is jealous. He's a jealous God. And his name is jealous. And he don't play about his kids. He don't play about him with your relationship with you. Putting something else is like making that an idol. Yeah, ouch, that hurt too. That hurt me too. So you can't say, well, God, I think, no. You're trying to get ahead of God and you're trying to, get in when you get trying to get something, anybody, anything ahead of God and the plan that he has, then you make that the leader. We don't want that. We don't want that. And then secondly, You make God and his word a liar. Because if he's given a plan for you, he's given a path for you, and you decide, I don't want to go down that road. I don't want to do that thing. Then you, or I'm not good enough for that thing. That's where a lot of people are. They're fearful, all that. The fearful, the unbelieving. It's hard to inherit the kingdom of God and what God has for you because you're fearful and then you don't believe. You don't believe you can do it. You don't believe it's for you to do it. And God's told you to do it. It's just like people, all the time who come up to me and, oh gosh, I've always wanted to write a book. Oh my gosh. A lady in the grocery store just walked up to me and said, write that book. And then I didn't even know her. And you think, well, the Bible also says, be careful, entertain strangers. Some have entertained angels unaware. And then I turned around and she was gone. You didn't think that was a message from God who had confirmed, not coming with something crazy out the blue, but something that you've been called to do. And I make them laugh. I said, well, let me back on away from you. Because if he done told you all that many times, slain you in spirit, knocked you out, got a prophet, little children have told you, old people have told you, strangers have told you, you know it, and he done told yourself. You make him a liar. Let God be true and every man a lie. Every word that comes out is the word, whether that's in the Bible, the written word, or the verbal word. So if he says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, he means that thing. You're the head and not the tail. You're above and not beneath. Now, you may have to change some things. You may have to cut off some things and add some things and rearrange some things. But, we used to sing them out. I'm all God says I am. And you got to embrace that. The enemy's job is to let you deny it and not do it and not want it and not think you're even worthy of it and shy away from it. And some have died and didn't do it. Now, at the end, that's between them and God. And that's where I leave it. But I want to die empty. And then, so we make them the leaders. God and his word, which is, God is not a man, he should lie. The son of man, he should repent. He can't even do, he can't lie. Yeah, that takes on a whole nother connotation. Then you put limits. When you start comparing yourself and striving to walk in an area or something that he didn't call you to do. Now, as human beings, we can learn a lot of things. We can learn to do, we can mimic, we can model, we can, oh gosh, I've seen people learn how to do, oh girl, when do you learn how to do that? Child, I watched these videos and figured out how to crochet and how to knit and how to, there's a lot of information out there free that you can learn to do a lot of things if you're diligent and you put in the practice and the work. But if that's really not what you're supposed to be doing, you put limits on yourself and you put limits on what God has called you to do. Because even though you know how to do a thing, are you graced for that thing? Are you anointed for that thing? Has God put his hand on you for that thing? You can be skilled at a lot of things, but a part of your plan and purpose for God, for your life, is that what you should be doing? There's a lot of things that I have been skilled to do, that I have been trained to do, that I was born to do and gifted to do. But some things are not in the season right now for me to be doing them. That season has passed. That place has passed. That group of people, love them always, but that's passed. We start putting limits on what God said. So we do the big one. Brian is big on this word. Then we settle for things that not even really supposed to be. We're supposed to learn from them, grow from them, and keep moving. But we just settle there. We not just pinched a tent. We built brick houses. Hello. Things that were supposed to last a long time. And we weren't even supposed to stay there. So we make those people, those situations, those places our leader. We make God a liar and his word a liar, because that's not where he intended for you to be forever. He's got other places and other things he's called you to do. But you're like, no, I want to keep up with, I want to slow my roll down so that I can keep up with, or I want to speed myself up, or I want to just sit here. So I start putting limits on things that God didn't intend for me. And then lastly, we become loyal in places. Now, I'm pretty loyal. It takes a lot to shake me loose because I can, well, you never know. Well, see, the way I'm really loyal, and it's hard for me to, because my parents were like, don't burn bridges if you don't have to. But sometimes we're loyal to the wrong thing. It may not even be sin. It may not even be, but if we're loyal to something that is out of season for us, it's like trying to get a good watermelon in December. You can get them hot house ones, and they can, do all right. You can put a little sugar on them, but a real good, sweet, ripe, in season peach, or a good, because that's out of season. It's not really season for that. You can manufacture it, you can, conjure it up, but it's really not the right season for that. And sometimes we're loyal to things and it's out of season. We're not supposed to be doing that now. That season is past, but we're loyal. We liked it. It was good for that season. But when that season is up and God says, move and go on to the next thing I have for you, you've learned everything you're supposed to learn right here, and you're supposed to apply that to the next season. Yes, it's unknown. Yes, it's scary. Yes, you're apprehensive. Yes, you don't know nobody there. Yes, you don't even know if you can say the right thing, wear the right clothes. You don't. But what is walk by faith if you don't go into the unknown? Well, you need faith for. Well, you need, and then you start becoming the leader. In your loyalty, then you make something else the leader. And God don't play about that. He'll blow up your whole world before you let you get in charge of you. Because you're not God. You don't know. And as much as, in the past, I've tried to hold on to things like, Lord, I was born here. This is what I know. This is, He won't let you sleep. He won't let you eat. Won't let you move forward. You're stuck. You're stagnant because you won't say yes to God. So the last thing is sometimes you're loyal to things that, because you're comparing yourself to them people and you're like, oh, we're going to stay right here. We're going to settle right here. And God done told you, time to go, time to move. And it's tough. It's hard. It's not an easy thing. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, it's, because you're still human, and when you move faster, you move further, or you just move different. You don't even have to be more successful, make more money. It's not even that part. You're not there anymore. Your presence is not there. You're not there. You have moved somewhere else, whether that's in a job laterally or whether they take you overseas or whether you don't have to get a corner office. Sometimes if you just change desk, oh, why'd you get that desk? Ooh, the sun shines on you bright on that. Child, you ain't got to get a pay increase or nothing. Some people get problems when you just change up anything. So therefore, you can't compare. Your favor is not theirs. The gifting, callings, the assignments, the purpose, the position, it's not there. And when you say yes to God, you will a lot of times, not sometimes, but a lot of times, walk alone. But you're never alone. He promised never to leave you, never to forsake you. Don't compare. Listen to God. He's the leader. He can't lie. There's no limits. And be loyal to what God has had you loyal to be loyal to, so that you can live your best life. Coming up at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right there on envision-radio.com. If you don't have the app, I don't know what you've been waiting on. We've been online 6 years. Come on. Download the free app so you can listen to Envision-Radio, the programming, the information, the music, anywhere, every time, all day long, all night long. Then on Tuesdays, the Book Business Boss Show, Tuesdays at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right there on envision-radio.com. The seasons 1 through 4. Yeah, I'm in the 5th season, recording now, and it is about turning your book into a business. But the replays of season 1 through 4 are at the bookbusinessbosspodcast.com, the bookbusinessbosspodcast.com. You can purchase Julia Royston books at the Next Chapter bookstore and gift shop in Ben's Boys in Greensboro, North Carolina. That's located at 2711 Grandview Avenue. Also, the Gardner Reading Book Closet, 8601 East 10th Street in Indianapolis. Sankofa Center Bookstore, Bates Memorial in Louisville, Kentucky. When I See Me, Children's Book Fair. Follow Miss Valerie Lewis Coleman on Facebook to find out where she is next. And theamazingcorner.com, online bookstore and mobile book fair. Those of you who are like, okay, I've written the book, I don't know what to do next. Let's have a conversation. Talkwithroyston.com, talkwithroyston.com. And for those of you who have published your book and the book is out there on Amazon or Barnes & Noble, and you're like, ooh, this social media thing, I don't know what I'm going to do with that. Well, I got a class for that. Social Media for Authors is coming up February 26th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. To register, go to bookbusinessboss.com. That's bookbusinessboss.com and register for that. It is open and people have registered. If you want to jump on in, come on in. The cart will close on February 25th at 6 p.m. Coming up in March, this is the last week of February. This is the last week of February. So coming up in March, I got one more thing. I'll go back and get it. But Montgomery Book Festival and Writing Expo, March 14th, 2026 at the Armory Learning Center in downtown Montgomery, Alabama. If you're interested, it's still, registration is still open for authors to participate. Go to Vernet C. Nettles, that's VERNET, a C, and then Nettles, NETTLES.com. And this week is Black Child Book Week. Black Child Book Week. So we're celebrating that on Tuesday night, February 24th, myself, and I think it's 7 of us all together, 6 other authors. We're going to be talking about children's books, the books that they have published, as well as the importance of purchasing children's books. But super excited about this week, celebrating Black Child Book Week. This week, February the 23rd through the 28th, the last week of February. Super excited about that. You can still download the checklist and purchase the book. Review, prepare, execute, repeat for not only authors, but all business owners so that we can get better and streamline our businesses even better. If you've authored a book, you're in the book business. So go to bookbusinessboss.com. That's bookbusinessboss.com. I'm Dr. Julia Royston. Always praying today, tomorrow, and always that you live your best life, but that you move in purpose. Don't compare yourself to other people. Find out God's will for your life and move quickly, speedily in that direction. I'm Dr. Julia Royston. Have a great rest of the day. Bye-bye.